we've returned to our new home. This is the beginning of something amazing and novel. None of us are ever guaranteed life. The only thing left to do is our best effort. I swear to do everything in my power for my family, you all, and my friends. The creator of the well-liked YouTube video, Deer Meat for Dinner, Robert Arrington, is well known for his outdoor activities, fishing excursions, and wild game cookery. Robert has amassed a sizable fan base over the years by posting family-friendly material. However, a lot of followers have recently begun to inquire about the whereabouts of the once exuberant man. Robert's life took an unexpected turn after he experienced a significant health crisis and ran into legal issues. Come along as we reveal Robert Arrington's true story. Hey, how are you? Greetings and welcome to camp, everyone. We are constructing the refuge here. Slav was ours. Do you know Slav? He's from Pond Inlet, down the hatch. We have this Bovo, our man. I'll give you a quick tour and introduce you to camp. Although Robert has had many sad events both on and off the program, none have topped the potentially fatal stroke he had in April 2025. Sarah, his wife, said that she and Robert were checking out their new property when an odd incident occurred. Robert was setting up a gaming camera when he abruptly stopped talking, began to stammer, and looked obviously perplexed. It was immediately apparent to Sarah that something was awry. She wasted no time when she asked him if he was okay, and he replied that he wasn't. Believing he was having a stroke, she hurried him to the closest fire station. They immediately transported him to a trauma center after that. Physicians validated Sarah's fears. Robert's stroke had been hemorrhagic. His speech was damaged, but his movement was unaffected. He was unable to speak in complete sentences. Even simple words were difficult for him to speak. He said chomp instead of watch. He is able to comprehend what others are saying to him. The actual difficulty, though, was getting the words out. Sarah claims that she was devastated to see Robert in the hospital because he appeared depressed. They had to deal with a scare about their daughter Arya and now Robert, so that weekend got off to a rough start for them. Sarah believes medical professionals can figure out what caused Robert's stroke, even though she didn't tell Arya what happened. However, it was not the first stroke he had suffered. Robert almost lost his life in 2023 after suffering 2 strokes at the same time. On the episode, he was reportedly chasing alligators as usual when he abruptly lost his grasp. It was a fierce struggle, and soon he started to feel weird. He flung his fishing rod to the ground and began to stagger, according to people who were with him at the time. His expression changed, and he started speaking incoherently. Robert immediately requested to be brought to the hospital after realizing that something was seriously off. His speech deteriorated throughout the voyage. As his condition deteriorated on the route to the emergency department, panic broke out. The medical professionals wasted no time in getting there. They hurried him directly to the CT scan room, rather than letting him go through the standard check-in procedure. His brain had a tiny blood stain, according to the results. A stroke had struck him. Indeed, additional examinations showed he had encountered 2 varieties. One resulted from bleeding in the front of his brain, which led to a hemorrhagic stroke. The second was a hypoxia stroke, which happened when there wasn't enough oxygen in the back of his brain. Doctors immediately took action. They admitted him to the intensive care unit for round-the-clock observation and gave him the medications he needed to avoid seizures. He started his recuperation process throughout the course of the following few weeks. He had to regain his ability to walk, talk, and use his hands. His wife remained by his side the entire time. She thanked everyone for their prayers and provided fans with updates on social media. She stated that being near home when the stroke occurred was one of the things for which she was most thankful. The consequences might have been considerably worse if it had occurred in a distant location or while they were traveling. In addition to the stroke episodes, Rob had a devastating accident in November 2016. According to the tale, he was operating his truck when he abruptly lost control and overturned it. He suffered severe injuries from the collision, including a fractured spine and a broken neck. He was taken to the hospital for emergency care after the hit left him in a coma. His condition in the hospital was severe, and it was unclear for some time whether he would live. After a period of time in a coma, Robert had to endure a protracted and agonizing recuperation process. Months of physical therapy and regular practice were necessary for his recovery. Robert gradually improved with the help of his wife, kids, and supporters. Even though it wasn't easy, he worked hard and remained focused, displaying the same tenacity that helped his YouTube channel succeed. Robert gradually healed and resumed his favorite activities. The accident undoubtedly altered his perspective on life. He no longer takes anything for granted and cherishes every moment. Additionally, Robert has spoken for the risks of texting and driving by drawing on his personal experience. He frequently advises his fans to drive carefully and with awareness. Although we believed Robert had survived, another tragedy occurred. In 2021, Robert traveled to Pagan Island in the northern Marana Islands with former Governor Ralph Torres. 4 spar deer were released back into the wild during the visit. The incident was captured on camera and subsequently uploaded to Robert's channel. Although this might not seem like much, Robert almost ran into legal issues as a result. The issue was that the Northern Mariana Islands prohibited the discharge of animals. The legislation states that it is illegal to release farm-raised or captive deer into the wild without authorization. Additionally, the legislation stipulates that intentional release of caged animals carries a $1,000 fine per deer. Furthermore, a person will not be able to renew or acquire another permit if they had previously held a captive rearing permit and intentionally discharged animals into the wild. The rule is in place to safeguard native plants and animals, particularly on islands like Pagan, where unique species are found. Even though this may sound harsh, Robert clarified that Torres came up with the concept in the video he posted. He claimed that because a typhoon had wrecked their previous refuge, the governor had contacted him while he was still in the United States to solicit his opinion on releasing the deer on Pagan Island. Regretfully, the video was used as one of the numerous arguments against Torres in court. Prosecutors filed 37 further counts against him. In May 2023, these included abusing one's position and permitting unlawful activities, such as the releasing of deer. Robert was not charged or suspected of breaking the law, but the former governor was constantly defending his name in court. However, because the incident was recorded and circulated online, his name was used frequently during the investigation. Now that we are aware of the terrible things Robert has experienced, let's go back to the beginning. Robert Arrington was born and reared in Florida and had a strong affinity for the natural world. As a child, he frequently went hunting, fishing, and free diving, and that enthusiasm developed into a way of life over time. He considered posting about their outdoor lifestyle on the internet one fateful day, while preparing deer meat in their kitchen. Upon verifying the availability of the website deermeatforeigner.com, he discovered that it was being sold for $9.99. He bought the website with his wife's assistance, and they started posting footage of their fishing, hunting, and cooking excursions. His straightforward strategy quickly led to the growth of his channel and established him as one of the most reliable voices in outdoor content. In terms of personal matters, Robert remains wed to his wife, Sarah, and they share a home with their 2 children, Emma and Aria. In addition to homeschooling their kids, the family frequently spends time together studying, exploring, and documenting their adventures. The popularity of the channel can be attributed in large part to these real-life adventures. He is still recuperating from the April stroke, as of May 2025. Even while he has made progress, small movements, walking with help, and speaking in brief sentences, his recuperation has been gradual. His spouse has persisted in providing fans with social media updates, posting about their struggles. She has also sent their gratitude to their fans for their prayers and love. Fans have been encouraging and kind to them, and the deer meat for supper community has kept them upbeat.